Welcome to GamesBound podcast number 2, the only annual podcast ever, I think.
And I don't think it's ever been done, really.
Yeah, I think episode 1 was in September.
Yeah.
And then Jesse went to Ireland. And I'm Jacob Novak, by the way.
And I'm Evan Quinter, and we're back for season 2.
Yeah, season 2. We're like Sherlock. We only have like 3 episodes per season.
Exactly.
Yeah. And maybe not even 3 episodes. Maybe like half of one episode.
I would be shocked if we finished this one, in all honesty.
Just cut off.
It just cuts off in the middle.
Yeah, it's June. It's June 2nd, actually. I was going to say June 1st, but it's June 2nd.
Christ, it's already summer. Jesus.
Yeah, E3 starts in like a week exactly.
Yep.
Or not E3, but like EA kicks off E3 festivities. E3 starts on like Tuesday.
Conference season starts soon.
Yeah, well, conference week, really. Yeah.
Excuse my French. Yeah.
Yeah.
Conference week, yes.
Yeah, so Evan, how would you rate your experience and knowledge of E3?
None at all. I'm like I'm like a complete E3 virgin. Like I really have no experience. I just have no idea what it is.
So this is gonna be exciting.
This is my first time. Yeah.
Because I feel like I keep talking about E3 and I'm like, oh yeah, this happened in 2015 and stuff like that. And
I'm like, cool.
Yeah, now I'm realizing that maybe that means nothing to you.
Every reference you say just goes completely over my head.
Yeah. Well, that's just in general, not just with games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I smile through the pain. It's great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm very excited for E3. I think you're excited to see what all the hype is about.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about So I've rounded up some news stories. So the thing about this year's E3 is it seems like a lot of things have been leaked or talked about beforehand, which isn't a new thing. Like, that happens. But I feel like this year especially, like, basically every conference that is going to be there has been talked about already in some way. So we're going to start from the top.
So there's
and work our way down.
Surprises.
Oh, no, there will be surprises. Definitely. It's just some things got talked about and which is kind of a shame in some cases, but we'll get there.
Can I just like say something just for like reference so we can know like your experience level like based on mine?
Oh, my experience level?
No, it's just I just want to bring up this moment. For the past like 2 days, folks, I always like see something on Facebook or something and it's always like new game leaked like 45 minutes ago and I'll shout out, I'll be like, "Hey Jacob, did you see this?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, dude, I saw that like 3 days ago." I'm like, how? What's this possible?
Yeah, I think you're referring to... So, first it was Pokemon.
First it was
Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee.
Pokemon Go.
And then it was Fallout... Pokemon Go 2.
Yeah.
Then it was Fallout 76.
Yep. And then it was Assassin's Creed.
Odyssey, yeah. Which all these we'll talk about in more detail later. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've basically been following... the industry, not just playing games, but following the industry. The games industry, the biz.
You're in,
I'm basically I have Todd Howard on speed dial.
See, I don't know who that is.
So Todd Howard's the lead guy basically behind Elder Scrolls and Fallout and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a big Bethesda. Big wig.
I do know. I think I do know some of the names for game companies and game producers. Yeah.
Like we were just listening to a podcast earlier today, and they were talking about Kojima.
Yeah.
And you because you've seen the Death Stranding stuff.
I think you were with me every time I first witnessed a Death Stranding.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I was like, "Hey, do you want to watch the Game Awards with me?"
And I was like, "Yeah, of course."
Yeah, and that wasn't the first trailer for Death Stranding, but that was the first one where it had Guillermo del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen.
And then just random babies just popping up everywhere, and you were like, "Oh, shit, yeah."
Yeah.
Am I allowed to curse on this?
Yeah, sure, why not? We might bleep some stuff out, but
freedom of speech.
Yeah. Plead the fifth. I don't know how that's relevant.
Yeah,
but it's.
I was like, is that correct?
But yeah, I've been E3 is my jam. I've been following it. I've been I remember watching. It's probably 2008 or 2009. Watching the really crappy live streams on IGN and stuff like that.
Oh, you were a youngin'.
Oh yeah.
When this came out.
Yeah, I mean E3's been going around for since the 90s.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's
definitely been getting more it's I'd say definitely the past 5-7 years have definitely been like it's been gradually increasing and like mainstreamness and like awareness of that this thing happens.
Would you say that like E3 is like definitely up there as one of the biggest conferences for gaming? If
I'd say it's the biggest.
It's the biggest.
Yeah, there's other things like there's Paris Games Week, which is like definitely lower tier.
See, that one I watched with you. I remember that.
Yeah. Did we? I don't.
Or we watched
no,
the recap.
because you were in Oregon at that time. This was like last October.
Wasn't it like the like PlayStation?
No, that's a PlayStation experience. That's in December. That's like the PSX like fan thing.
Then maybe that's what we watched.
Yeah, we watched that too.
My mistake. We'll like fix that in that ending process.
I'm not going to cut that.
Oh, well.
I think it gives some good context.
Great. All right. Didn't realize this was all permanent. All right. Great.
Yeah, I definitely say in recent years it's definitely like gone up in popularity, especially because like more like bigger and bigger games have been like just as video games as a whole gets bigger, like it just expands. But yeah, so first
We'll just dive right in.
Yeah, dive right in. And as we go, I'll explain maybe some things we might be expecting or how their conferences have gone in the past.
We'll throw out our opinions for anyone that wants to hear them. Yeah, that'd be great.
Looking at you, Mom. So first up is a bit of a doozy.
Okay.
Electronic Arts is next Saturday afternoon. I don't know what time.
Oh, that's just EA.
That's EA. Yeah.
Okay, I was
being fancy. Yeah. So, for those of you who might not know, as I stare directly into Evan, I don't know where else I would look.
Eyes. Yeah.
It's
a very intimate moment. Yeah.
So maybe you've heard of like some of the woes that EA's gone through with like microtransactions and Star Wars Battlefront 2 and stuff like that.
Specifically with Battlefront, no, but I know a little bit about like how annoying microtransactions can be and how it's like a way to just like get money more out of like players essentially.
And so it's not even just that, like they also EA has like the license to like they're the ones who make Star Wars games because they have that license. Yeah. And so there was a game being made by Visceral Studios, which they made Dead Space in those games. Yep. And it was being directed by Amy Hennig, who directed the first Uncharted games.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and so and we saw like basically nothing of this game. We saw like 3 seconds of like concept footage.
This is
and it looked really good. No, it wasn't. It was like just a Star Wars like single player game.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So basically everybody was just calling it like Uncharted Star Wars, even though we have no idea what it was going to play like. We just assume it was going to be like that kind of third person Star Wars kind of game.
Yeah.
But then last October, EA shut down Visceral Studios.
Oh.
And they're like, all right, we're going to retool this game, and kind of made it seem like, oh, we're going to do multiplayer because no one likes single player games anymore and stuff like that.
So no more Dead Space then?
So, well, yeah, like we'll see if maybe like they retain the property and EA just gives it to a new studio or something like that.
I have a question. So is EA owned by Disney then? Like,
not owned by Disney. Disney just like gives them the license to work with, basically.
Okay, all right.
And after like these things like after them shutting down, and like it was a huge deal that they shut down Visceral Studios out of nowhere, and all the deal with microtransactions and like people rebelling against Battlefront 2. Like there were rumors and reports of Disney like really like thinking about pulling the switch on that deal.
Wow.
And nothing's happened yet. They also have another Star Wars game in development from Respawn, who did Titanfall. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
Oh, yeah.
They're making a game right now, directed by Stig Asmussen, something like that. He did some thing. I can Google it right now. But yeah, they're making a game, and that has not been canceled, but we also haven't seen anything of that either. But
if that's by the same studio that made Titanfall, can we assume that's just going to be another big multiplayer kind of game?
I don't think it is. I think because they've done. So here's the thing about EA at E3. So clearly we've already talked about some crappy things that EA has done.
Yeah.
EA at E3 is somewhat miserable because they do not know their audience. For example, last year they started the show with Drumline and Tom Brady jerseys. and went right into a Madden story trailer, which honestly was kind of cool because it was the first time they had like the Madden story thing. Like we played through FIFA 17, which was the first time they had the journey.
So it's the same thing, but with Madden.
Yeah, it was the same idea with that.
Okay.
But it was just so weird. Like they have to talk about all their sports properties, and it makes sense. But they just like also just focus on the wrong things with all of their properties. Like they were showing, like, yeah, this is how like in touch we are with our fan base, and they just showed a bunch of clips of streamers playing Battlefield 1 and stuff like that. And like they had this really weird death stare moment when they showed off NBA Live, where it's like the developer like just giving death stares to the guy who was talking to him, and yeah, just like really weird stuff. And that's the thing, is also in years past, like with the Visceral Star Wars game that got canceled, or retooled or whatever, we have no idea what the status of that is right now. And this Star Wars game, Stig Asmussen, right? He worked on God of War earlier on. Yeah.
Cool. The one that just came out, like that God of War?
No, not that one, like earlier games.
Got it. So cool.
Yeah. But yeah, and so like all we saw of those games was like developer diary things instead of like actual gameplay, instead of actual footage or like even the CG trailer. They give us like these like documentary things of like them working in the studio, which can be cool, but not at E3. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, this is where you like announce games and you show off what it is, what the gameplay is going to be like, what the story is and things like that.
E3's for the big moments.
Yeah. And like they just like they talked about the games and then you never saw anything. Like for the Stig Asmussen game at Respawn, I remember they had like two guys doing mocap with lightsabers. Not what it actually looked like, just them in the studio doing mocap.
Oh.
And I love watching like
going on
YouTube and watching like the mocap for Last of Us, for Uncharted and things like that.
Oh yeah.
But not at E3. And it's just so just so weird, you know?
There's a time and a place, EA, and it was not now.
And they've been doing this for years, and it's like we always think like maybe it'll get better. Maybe they'll learn. Maybe they'll better understand their audience. And then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then like I was like maybe they understand, especially after all the turmoil and like flack they got for all the Star Wars stuff, all the microtransaction stuff, things like that. But this past week, they held a press event to announce Battlefield 5.
Okay.
So basically, like Battlefield 5, the trailer looks cool. Like, graphics look good.
I saw you watching it. Like, it looked cool,
yeah, it's World War II. Looks fine. The way they showed the trailers, they had an event hosted by Trevor Noah for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they spent half an hour on a couch talking to developers about gameplay and stuff without showing anything, and they showed like concept art. They spent half an hour talking, and then they showed the trailer and it was over.
Doesn't seem too bad, but I feel like maybe they should have switched it.
Like, what's the point of like? I just don't understand why you need the 28 minutes of talking and then getting into the trailer, especially because EA at their conferences loves to have like the little the ticker that's like, get ready for this thing in 20 minutes and stuff like that. It's like when you know that this thing is exclusively for Battlefield 5 and they say we're going to show the trailer in 20 minutes, what are you going to talk about for the next 20 minutes that we won't garner from watching the trailer?
Yeah, no, okay. That makes sense.
And that just has me not excited.
For those of you that can't see, Jacob just kind of did like the prayer motion, like when you get annoyed. Not
the prayer, like the finger, like the Sean Layden.
You just like put your fingers together, just like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, you understand that.
Yeah,
reference.
No, yeah.
Love Sean Layden. It's really funny that like he always has that finger to finger contact in some way.
Why didn't they wait to show Battlefield 5 at EA?
Probably like they'll probably. So I think they wanted to show the trailer and get it out there, so that I think at E3 they're gonna do more of a multiplayer focus.
Oh, so they'll show like gameplay.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay.
So and like the trailer had like gameplay, quote unquote. We'll see if it actually works like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I think they just wanted to get it out there in the open so that they didn't have to spend so much time in it time on it on the in the actual conference, which makes sense. We'll see in some of these other conferences that other companies are doing the same thing, because you only have like an hour and a half or something like that, which seems like a long time, but if you're depending on how many games you have to show and how much you have to prove on some of these games,
how long
it can be a lot.
How long is E3?
The event itself. So E3 actually starts on Tuesday, I think, is when the doors open. Wow. That's all the conferences are before that, and then the doors of E3 open, where you walk the show floor and you play demos and stuff like that. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I believe.
And Friday's the big conference, essentially.
No.
Oh.
So EA has their conference on Saturday.
Okay.
And then it is Microsoft and Bethesda on Sunday, and then it is Square Enix, Sony, and Ubisoft, depending on who you are, on Monday. And then Nintendo is on Tuesday morning, and Tuesday morning is when the show floor opens. So basically they announce everything first, and then everybody gets to walk through.
The rest, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the press goes to a bunch of the conferences too. Not all, the Nintendo conference is just a video that they play. There's no one there. It's not a live thing, which I wish they would go back to having a live event, because there's nothing like having a press conference and having 3,000 nerds in that room freaking out over Metroid Prime 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just me. But yeah, so that's how that works. And so EA kicks it all off with their own thing. So it's not technically E3, but it's E3. You know what I mean? But yeah, so my EA expectations aren't high.
Yeah.
I really hope they show some Star Wars thing. We've been hearing about these games for years, and it's just come on now. Are you kidding me? How
it's time.
I think 2013 maybe we started hearing about these games.
Wow, 5 years.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not super optimistic, but I still watch it because it's still interesting and still good to see the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
Of what a conference can be. And they still EA still makes some cool stuff, but they just have trouble showing it,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's EA. They kick it off Saturday. And then starting Sunday. So speaking of leaks.
Okay.
Segue. Very smooth.
Segue. Paul
Art
about segue.
What was this? Let me see when this tweet was. I want to say it was 2 weeks ago. May 9th, even farther away. So on May 9th, Walmart accidentally put up some listings for games that weren't announced yet. And then afterwards they're oh no, we're just guessing that those are going to be a thing. Don't worry about that. But then, so let me read you a list. This is from a tweet from Wario64, who is it's a Twitter account where he basically he tweets out a lot of deals for video games and news, and has press conferences that has when this was announced and links to that stuff.
Yeah.
And so Wario64 put out a list, or it's a screenshot of a picture from Walmart's website, and then a list of the notable new things. So Walmart listed Just Cause 4, Splinter Cell,
wow,
Dragon Quest 2, which we assume is Dragon Quest Builders 2, which was already announced, so that's not a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
Lego DC Villains, Borderlands 3, Rage 2, Gears of War 5, Forza Horizons 5, and Assassin's Creed.
Which I'm guessing is Odyssey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing, is we didn't know if any, they said this was all conjecture. But then Rage 2, or Bethesda, responded, or quoted, or screenshotted the all of the picture art or box art for this stuff is just black with the title on it.
Yeah.
And so Bethesda basically tweeted back at it and was good work, Walmart, but it could use some work. And they had drawings of this is where the logo should go and stuff like that. And it's and then 2 days later they announced Rage 2. They showed a trailer, and they had a teaser trailer showing what the vibe might be, and it was super colorful. And then the next day they had an actual trailer for the show. It's this kind of wasteland, open world first person shooter kind of thing. And it's oh, so everything on that list is real. Okay.
So everything, yeah.
Yeah, and so we had that, and so that's how we're gonna get into Bethesda.
Okay.
And we'll get into some of the other things that came true. But so Bethesda announced Rage 2.
Yeah.
And that's not the only thing that they announced before E3 started. They also announced Fallout 76, which is not on this listing. I don't think anybody saw it coming. It was just one day they started up a stream on Twitch.
And
they had the please stand by thing. Very similar to back in 2015 when they announced Fallout 4.
Wow.
And so they did that, and they just left it running for like 2 days. And then they actually showed the trailer. And the trailer for Fallout 76 didn't show much. But then different outlets started reporting that like they're hearing that it's like a multiplayer online kind of thing, which is a cool new direction.
Yeah.
We'll see how that turns out. And so it wasn't much, but we know that they're going to talk about it more at E3. That's when Todd Howard's going to come out on stage. You know Todd Howard, right?
I do now, yeah.
Yeah. And so those are the two things we know are going to be at Bethesda's conference. And so just for your context, Evan, Bethesda also makes Elder Scrolls, you know.
Yeah, I know that.
They make Doom.
I know Doom, yeah.
Yeah. Wolfenstein is them.
I know Wolfenstein.
Do you know Prey?
I do know Prey.
Yeah, that came out last year.
Because they just did a remake of it, right? And that was the one that just came out.
Oh, yeah, like it wasn't a remake. It was just like a new Prey game, and they didn't call it like Prey 2.
It was just
like the original Prey came out like mid 2000s maybe, and then they were gonna make a Prey 2, but then it got canceled. And so then they made Prey, and it's like different from what those games were. It's kind of just like a reimagining kind of thing, I guess. And also Dishonored.
Dishonored, I love, yeah.
Yeah, so they do all of those. And those are the main big ones. And so basically, Bethesda only started having E3 conferences, I think, in 2015 with Fallout 4.
Wow.
And they've had one every year since. I think that's true. Maybe they had one. Yes, they did. So yeah, they had Fallout 4 was their big one in 2015, and then 2016 was when they announced what was it? They had I know they had Quake Champions, but I don't think that was the big thing.
Well, wouldn't they have had something beforehand? Because I feel like whenever they do World of Warcraft stuff, it's always
that's big. Blizzard. That is not Bethesda.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry if I offended anyone about that. For gamers to make stuff. Whoops.
But yeah, that's oh yeah. Speaking of World of Warcraft, not gonna be talking about PC gaming show.
Is that different? So this is just gonna be console stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So PC gaming show is like a 3-hour show. Mm-hmm. I think it's on Monday, and it's like I watch it, but it's like more on in the background. Like there's usually nothing huge there. Like the biggest thing from last year was like an Age of Empires remake, or like Age of Empires 4 or something like that, and even that's like okay, sure.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah. So yeah, Bethesda. So the thing is, Bethesda loves to announce and release in the same year. So last year they had Wolfenstein 2, Evil Within 2. They talked about Elder Scrolls Legends, which is their card game. They talked about some VR stuff like Fallout VR and Doom VFR and stuff like that. And yeah, so both Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2 came out in October. Mm-hmm. And also, funny enough, both of those were leaked beforehand. So we kind of knew. And actually, Evil Within 2 came out on Friday the 13th, mm-hmm. which is super cool. Speaking of, going to be getting back to Evil Within at some point. I just want to get Jesse back.
For those of you that have kept up on the page.
Yeah. All those of you still here. But yeah, and so...
How far did you guys get in that?
Oh, not very far.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. Maybe 3 hours.
Stay tuned for season 2 where they...
Yeah, season 2.
Where we just to finish.
Where we just don't even finish it and go straight to the sequel. which is, I hear, very good.
Oh.
But yeah, so they love to announce things, and release in the same year. Mm-hmm. And so, Fallout 64, Fallout 76, and what's the other one? Rage 2. We know we're going to be there.
Cool.
So basically just guessing what else is going to be there. So they've had this thing that's been rumored for a long time. That's like this trademark that keeps popping up, mm-hmm. But we haven't heard anything about it. It's called Starbound. And so basically, the idea is that it's like they have Elder Scrolls, which is kind of like the fantasy open world.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Fallout, which is like the Earth, like post-apocalyptic open world. And they do space, which is like space. Starbound, yeah. And so that's like always been a rumor for the past like 3 years. It still hasn't popped up, but maybe this is the year.
Is it so? Like it's kind of gonna be like a No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hopefully better, and also you can actually see other players. But yeah, and so
that was a straight diss towards No Man's Sky.
Yeah. What's the Hello Games? That's the name of the company. Yeah.
Take that.
Listen, hopefully in their next game they've learned, and so it's better. But yeah, and so there's Todd Howard has talked about how they also like have 2 games that they're making before they do Elder Scrolls 6. So who knows if Fallout 76 is one of those. I don't remember if both of them are supposed to be new IP or if it's just one of them is a new IP, which presumably would be Starbound, and then like one of them is something else. Maybe it's Fallout 76. So maybe we get a tease for Elder Scrolls 6, but I'm gonna say 99% sure that's not gonna happen.
I would be totally fine with them if they waited to like release another Elder Scrolls so that they can work on other like projects.
Yeah, and I have a friend who's like super into Elder Scrolls and Fallout, and is just like, we haven't had Elder Scrolls 6. Like Skyrim was 2011, Fallout 4 was 2015, and now we have Fallout 76, which is like, sure, fair enough, but Fallout 76, the impression I get isn't like,
I don't know.
It's not like the next entry. It's like the next entry
because like it looked different too. Like yeah. Like in the trailer.
But yeah, so I think my guess is Starbound or some new IP.
Okay.
Maybe Prey DLC actually. That makes sense. Maybe Prey DLC or Evil Within 2 DLC. I could see being announced here. I think Doom 2 is a semi-safe bet.
Because Doom did really well when it came out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, another thing that should be brought up is the fact that Bethesda, like, usually not on Nintendo consoles, but for the Switch, have been, like, really pumping stuff out. So they ported Doom to the Switch last November, I think.
That's fun.
And they have Wolfenstein 2 coming out this year on the Switch. Like, both old games, but still, they're, like, catching up. Because, obviously, these games were in development before they had Switch dev kits. So I think, if not this year, then at least next year at E3, we're going to see these games announced as Switch day and date, along with PS4 and Xbox and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
So, and, like, obviously, it's, like, a somewhat, like, visual downgrade and stuff, and maybe, like, if you're playing on the Switch handheld, it's not going to be 60 frames a second. But it's still, I think we're going to see Bethesda more and more bringing the Switch into the fold, which I'm super excited about.
Are they the only company that's kind of doing that, or is everyone starting to?
No, I think it's just fascinating because Bethesda traditionally hasn't been on Nintendo consoles, and so it's especially notable because of that reason.
Got it.
But yeah, some people were thinking that before Fallout 76 was announced, and they just had the live stream going up, that it was going to be either Fallout 4 remaster for Switch, or port rather, or a Fallout 3 port to Switch. And honestly, I could still see either of those being announced at their conference this year.
Yeah. I would love it if they brought back a remastered Fallout 3. Because I feel like a lot of people would invest in that too.
Yeah. I just Fallout 3 to see it, like, I don't know, there's something weird about that, especially if, like, since 4 is still semi-recent and stuff like that. But then again, Bethesda isn't a stranger to that because they port Skyrim to something every year for, like, no reason. Like, they've made their money on that, and they keep doing it anyways.
Well, I mean, Skyrim was so...
Yeah. Oh, Skyrim. Also, Skyrim's on Switch.
It's on Switch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that
good.
Came out last November as well. I think it was November.
But it's so good. Like, you gotta have that on. Like, whatever you can get.
But yeah, so Skyrim, Wolfenstein 2, Doom, all Switch. Wolfenstein 2 coming to Switch. So I think we're going to see that a lot more. Maybe not so much this year, but especially next year, I think. That's my bold prediction. That we won't really find out potentially until next year.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we'll definitely see something Switch that isn't Wolfenstein 2 at this conference.
I'm excited then. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the the lowdown on Bethesda, I guess.
Go Bethesda.
They do good stuff. Last year it was like mostly a video, and they had like I forget his name. He's like the main PR guy, but for Bethesda. But yeah, he came out. I can't look it up. But yeah, he came out and like talked for like 3 seconds. But it was mostly like a festival kind of vibe, and they were just like, let's go see what's going on in this side of the park, and it's Evil Within 2, and it's just like stuff like that. Some people were like, that was kind of weird. I liked it, and from what I hear, like the press that were like at the event itself, it was really cool up there too. So very worth it for them. But yeah, so that's Bethesda. They had Rage 2 leaked from Walmart.
Go Walmart.
And so coming up after that,
coming up after the break. Just kidding, there's no break.
Yeah, there's no break. This train has no brakes.
An intermission would just wreck the flow of the show.
Exactly. Actually, I think we kind of skipped, because so Bethesda is Sunday night.
Backtrack here.
Sunday afternoon is Microsoft.
So what, like, I'll be completely honest, that the only game I imagine Microsoft creating is like Halo, you know?
Funny you say that. So, I mean, that's like, I assume they're going to show Halo 6.
Oh.
I feel like that's a lock. Who knows? I mean, full disclosure, I'm not a Microsoft, like I've never owned an Xbox. Like I still follow like the news with Xbox and stuff like that.
Wow. That's
that's why like the news that they're like potentially putting Halo on PC has me excited, because I've always wanted to play those games and stuff like that. But so Microsoft last year they had they premiered Anthem, which is an EA game, which we
I've heard of it. I don't really know a lot about it.
It's from the guys who did Mass Effect.
Okay.
The team that did Mass Effect. So far it seems like it's going to be kind of like a third person Destiny kind of vibe. Like that kind of style of like, you know, grabbing loot and stuff like that.
I'm down for that.
The trailer they had looked cool. The thing is, it was delayed until like 2019 basically. Like there wasn't a solid release date on it, but people thought it might be 2018. But then I think it was March. They're like, yeah, it'll be 2019.
It's coming. We just need a little bit more time.
Yeah. So I imagine we'll see that at EA. So I can show you that trailer after this.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's just, you know, it's EA, so who knows? Hopefully it's not a microtransaction filled mess. But yeah. So Anthem was at Microsoft's press conference last year. They also had Metro Exodus, which is like one of those like big small series. It's not huge, but it's still big. Metro,
where they're in the subways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Metro.
Yeah. So they had that. They last year they focused on a lot of indie things. They also had Sea of Thieves this past March.
I heard of that. Yeah.
It was either March or April, which was Rare, who we were talking about the other day. They did Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, and Donkey Kong Country at Nintendo before they were bought. And Sea of Thieves was like their first like real return to form of like a good game, you know, because Microsoft had them working on like a bunch of weird stuff. But yeah, and so Halo's like big first party properties are like Halo, Gears of War, which is how they got leaked on this Walmart listing. Forza Horizons 5, like Forza in general is like a racing kind of thing. That's first party for Microsoft. And so those two were what got legitimized from this leak because Bethesda announced Rage 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so the thing about Microsoft is they also have Crackdown.
I know Crackdown.
Crackdown 3 has been in development forever and was supposed to be released like 2 years ago maybe, and it was supposed to release with the Xbox One X last November, but then it didn't happen. So who knows what the deal is there. But like Microsoft just has issues with first party games, and that's something that this year they've been like Phil Spencer, one of the big wigs at Microsoft, has been talking about like, yeah, we want to focus more on first party games. Like they had a partnership with Platinum Games, who do games like Nier Automata. I don't think you've heard of that.
Nope.
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That game's intense.
Yeah, and so they were doing a game called Scalebound, which is like kind of like a fantasy kind of game, dragons, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Microsoft canceled it.
Oh.
I want to say it was maybe it was 2017. Yeah, I think it was 2017. Like early 2017. And they've just been having issues with first party stuff. Like they have a lot of third party support, but like their first party games, like aside from Forza, Halo, Gears of War, like kind of lacking.
So like they're just trying to find something new.
Yeah,
like they're trying to find
we'll get to PlayStation later. They do not have the first party support that PlayStation does.
Got it.
Like they sell like good games. Like I'm not trying to diss on Xbox. Like Xbox has sold less than PS4, but still a ton.
Yeah.
Like they struggled at the beginning of the console life cycle, but they definitely have been like catching up since.
But they've made their own, essentially.
Yeah, like I think when they first announced the Xbox One, they like 3 of the 4 games that they showed off for it were end up canceled, and stuff like that.
Man.
But yeah, and I need to fact check that, but like yeah, they've had issues with that, but their press conferences are still good. Like last year, they had a lot of good stuff, a lot of good third party support. They showed off Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which is the Dragon Ball fighting game that came out in January. That was well received.
I watched the honest trailer for it, and it looked cool. So.
Yeah. I mean, I've never watched Dragon Ball, but people who watch Dragon Ball seem to like it. So there you go.
Good for them.
But yeah, and they have some cool indie stuff too. My main gripe with their conference last year was that like before each trailer they had like world exclusive or Xbox exclusive, but it didn't really mean anything because we couldn't tell if it meant like the premiere of the trailer was exclusive or the game was exclusive or it was exclusive for now and then it would come to PS4 later and stuff like that. It was just super weird and vague. It's also where they showed off the Xbox One X for the first time, and I was so annoyed because they had these dumb T-shirts that said, "I just witnessed the most powerful console in history." And it's like, shut up. That's going to be outdated in 3 years. Are you kidding me? It's still an Xbox One X. It's like, it's not... What am I going to play on? That was mean, but seriously. That annoyed me so much. It's like, come on, dudes. It's so weird. Yeah. So they still have a good like showing,
Yeah. It's almost as annoying as the snaps. What was the thing you were like really annoyed about with?
At the Nintendo Switch event, I wasn't annoyed about it, but I just thought it was hilarious. It's like, let's go see what's going on with this game. I thought that was hilarious, like every time, and they still do it.
You were like, I have a snap ratio of about 0, and they exceeded that like 20 times.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so I definitely think like Gears of War most likely. From what I hear, like the last 2 games, like it was like Gears of War 4, and Gears of War
Judgment Day. Is that right?
I think Judgment is it. Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, no, that was good. I wouldn't have gotten that. So I think that and Halo are a lock. From what I hear, the last 2 Gears of War games haven't been like super great. So I think they'll have a lot to prove with Gears of War 5.
Yeah.
Especially because like I usually think of Gears of War as the second tier Microsoft franchise, and there's no reason that should be the case.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see it, and like there's been a reason that we haven't heard of anything for a while, and maybe it'll be like something super special.
Microsoft, if you're listening, this is your chance to.
Yeah, in the next week, turn the ship around.
Yeah, it's time. It's time to make something of yourself. Yeah. Let's go.
There's also have you heard of The Witcher?
I have heard of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Yes,
The Witcher 3 came out in 2015.
Blew everyone out of the water. Like. It was awesome.
It was really good. I still haven't finished it. I need to borrow it from my brother.
I still haven't played it, so we're both in the same boat.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
But yeah, and so they have a game that they announced, it was a couple of years ago, I think, called Cyberpunk 2077, which we haven't seen anything for. The developer is CD Projekt Red. That's their name.
Okay.
And so I think it's basically confirmed to be at E3. My guess is that's going to be at Microsoft's conference. It's not exclusive, I don't think, but I think it's going to be there. That's where they're going to show it off.
Is that just that
or Sony?
Is it just like a first person like shooter?
I think it's third person. I don't quote me on that. I think there's a trailer out there somewhere, but I think it's just CG and not actual gameplay. So I imagine we're going to see some gameplay for that. Maybe get a release date for 2019.
Okay.
And there's always been like rumors of like people trying to start shit. That's like, oh, CD Projekt Red is like falling behind, and it's like Cyberpunk is like, like having issues, and like the team just like puts out a statement, it's like, we're good. Don't listen to them. Games are hard to make, and you'll hear about something when we have something to show and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think we'll see that. I think it'll be at Microsoft conference. But I think Halo 6 is also a thing. It's been a while since Halo 5, and honestly, I'm surprised we didn't see it last year. But I think just because Halo 5 got more of a lukewarm, not a bad reception, but it was more mixed and not as whoa.
And I can attest to that because I didn't even realize they made Halo 5 until people were playing it. Yeah,
Halo 5 Guardians. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that's Microsoft. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but Gears of War, Halo, Forza. I feel like they have Forza, which is the racing game, and then Forza Horizons, which is a racing game, but it's more about locations and stuff like that. I think.
Oh, cool.
Which all racing games always look super good, especially Forza. So it'll look beautiful, but whatever. But yeah, so that's the main Microsoft stuff, I guess. I'm probably missing some first party thing that I don't remember, but I guess we'll see at E3.
I guess we'll see. Tune in for the live stream reactions.
Nope. Don't have that but yeah. And so next up is Ubisoft. Ubisoft, who knows? I feel like I switch depending on the day.
GIF, It's,
yeah, exactly. But so this is where I kind of get a little sad. So last year, Ubisoft. So the thing about Ubisoft, I'm just gonna switch between those two pronunciations the entire time.
Switch.
Yes. But so they have been fighting off this hostile takeover from I think it's a French company called Vivendi.
Oh.
For a while. And they've just been staving it off, but it's always been encroaching. But then earlier this year they officially announced it's hey, we're good for the next 10 years or something like that. Maybe it's not 10 years, but we're good.
We're good for a while.
Yeah. And so that was super nice, and it kind of added to the emotion of last year, because Ubisoft sometimes gets a lot of flack for some of their games and stuff like that. And going into their conference last year, they had Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Are you familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a do you know XCOM?
Not at all.
Okay. Because that's that's the easiest way to describe it. But it's basically a grid-based strategy game, kind of. I can show it to you later. I wanted to get it. I still haven't played it, but it's so do you know the Rabbids? It's for the Rabbids.
Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah.
So basically, Ubisoft teamed up with Nintendo to make this game.
And it was Mario versus the Rabbids?
Or they team up.
Oh.
And
okay.
they fight other rabbits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's it leaked. Before this initial Switch press conference, it was leaked by Laura Kate Dale, who leaked a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff hasn't come true, but maybe it will at some point. I think that was her thing. Is she's if all this stuff doesn't come true, I'm basically dead. Because so many people are going to be the internet's going to be furious. And a lot of stuff she said came true. Just not this. She leaked it, and then it didn't come true for a while, so people just thought it didn't exist. But then in May, this PowerPoint presentation leaked from a shareholders meeting or something where they talked about this game, and it didn't look good. There was no footage of it, but just the descriptions of what the game would be sounded not great, and everybody was so down on it. But then last year at their conference, Ubisoft opened with it, and everybody was why does this look so good? And it came out in August, and everybody was this is so good. How is this good?
Yeah.
How do you take these annoying minion type Rabbids and mix them with Mario? And they did it.
And it worked.
Yeah. Wow. And so they led with that. And the whole Vivendi situation kind of endeared that whole thing, because then you see the main the director of the game out in the audience. They cut to him as everybody's applauding the game, and then the Yves, the president of Ubisoft is oh yeah, give a hand to that guy, and he's in his seat crying because he's must have faced so much scrutiny for this thing.
Aww.
And it was just like
so
it was so nice to watch. And just like, and so they showed off that game. They showed off Assassin's Creed Origins, which they took a year off of Assassin's Creed because up to that point they've been doing yearly installments.
I remember that.
It was just like gradually people were losing interest, and so they took a year off, and then Assassin's Creed Origins showed better, and it got a lot of good feedback when it came out last November. And then what else did they show? They showed Beyond Good and Evil 2 for the first time, which with a really cool CG trailer.
I just watched that trailer today. Yeah, it was fun.
Like nobody saw it coming, and it was like the last thing they did. And then that's like there 2 more developers from that came on stage and they started crying, like they were tearing up, and it was super cute because they've been like working on it for so long. It was in like development hell, and stuff like that. But yeah, and so they showed that. They showed this like weird Toys to Life game called Starlink. And it's like cool, not my kind of thing, but it was like still cool to see. A bunch of things like that. South Park, they do those games. And so just super cool to see them bounce back after like some like less than stellar reviews in the years past, and like the Vivendi takeover kind of looming over top. And then last year they knocked it out of the park. And then they had Assassin's Creed leak on this Walmart thing, which at first I was kind of nervous about, because it's like you just show that you have the good thing by not doing a yearly Assassin's Creed. Why are you already doing something? But then they officially confirmed it as Assassin's Creed Odyssey yesterday, or the day before. I can't remember. Time's weird. And it's supposed to be like more of a direct sequel kind of thing. Not the same characters, but it's like the same idea. And it's still like new gameplay implementations. Like they have dialogue choices and stuff like that.
And that like just the time, just like the time period and the location that they're doing. I feel that's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be awesome.
like I was worried. Like I haven't played, like I played Assassin's Creed Unity a little bit, but that was it. And that's like the bad game.
That was one where they were in France, right? Oh yeah.
And that and that it was like a technical mess and stuff like that. And that's when people were like, okay, maybe you should stop.
Just take a break.
And they didn't for like another year or two. But when that leaked, I was like, no, don't just turn it out in a year. But hearing about it a little bit more makes me feel a little bit better, because it sounds like they're still evolving the game and like the way you play it and stuff like that. So that's so cool.
This might, I mean, like, in all honesty, I don't know a lot about what these games depend on, but I think specifically for Assassin's Creed, it really depends on story and mechanics. Right, so I feel that's kind of why like Unity didn't do so well, because there were just so many like technical things that weren't going well with it.
Like their faces were gone. Like you'd be talking to someone and all you could see was eyeballs and teeth.
Oh my god.
It was horrifying. I know, like cats.
I still have nightmares.
But yeah, that makes me feel a little better. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey, they just like when they had a keychain leak with the title on it a couple days ago, and then later that night, we're like, okay, yeah, it's real. See you at E3. And I just feel so bad because Assassin's Creed, like, I don't think they've had an Assassin's Creed game that hasn't leaked. I think even since the first game. Like, there were, like, trademark leaks. And especially Origins. Like everybody knew that they were doing an Egypt Assassin's Creed for about 6 months. Before they actually showed it.
Wow, that's sad.
And they were like so close. They were a week away. Even like with the Walmart listing, they could have just ignored it because there was no subtitle to it. It just had Assassin's Creed. But then someone has to take a picture of a stupid keychain, and they're like, "Come on,
come on, God!"
Like, I feel bad for them. They have trouble keeping it under wraps. But
they'll pull through, and it'll. I'm
cautiously optimistic.
Well.
We'll see. So they're gonna have that. Division 2 is kind of a. I think it's an unknown kind of lock.
Is that the Tom Clancy game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Tom Clancy, Splinter Cell, which hasn't been around for a while.
For reference, I own Splinter Cell Blacklist.
That's like the last one that they made.
I absolutely love that game.
Do you recall what year that was?
2013.
Okay, so yeah, it's been a while.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm like.
I can just look it up. That one I can look
relatively sure.
But yeah, Splinter Cell has been like on hold for a while. Yeah, 2013.
Yes.
Good call.
Thank you.
That's been on hold for a while, and then they did the Splinter Cell integration thing with what's it called? Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh, cool.
Just like briefly, and then people from that were like, "Are they going to do a new Splinter Cell game?" And from this Walmart leak, it's like, "Yeah, they're doing a new Splinter Cell game," which is cool.
That's very exciting. I am very excited.
Yeah,
about that.
so that's probably going to be there. So Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell. What else does Ubisoft do? Honestly, I wouldn't be like games take a while to make, but I wouldn't be surprised because Ubisoft and Nintendo are friends, especially after the success of Rabbids.
Yeah.
Like throughout the Wii U, while that was failing, Ubisoft was like one of the big third-party developers that was stuck
like,
by them,
helping them,
and still like put games out, and that you really see that through their partnership because it's like I feel like Miyamoto would almost never let people use Mario, like that property, without him being part of the project.
Yeah.
Especially Mario with guns.
But wait, he had guns in this?
Yeah,
game?
it's like these laser guns and stuff like that. I'll show it to you.
That sounds kind of cool, actually.
I'll show it to you. I still need to buy it and play it. I've wanted it since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if either after the success of that project they had a new Nintendo partnership or they have like some other franchise that they're working on, or maybe there's something also being worked on at the same time that they have ready to show here.
But it would be something with Ubisoft, essentially.
Yeah.
Cool.
But like that, like who knows? I think it would be cool if they took something that like hasn't been getting attention, like maybe F-Zero or something, which is like a racing game. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Captain Falcon from Smash Brothers.
Okay.
That's that character. It's like it's like a racing game.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would do, but honestly, this is just conjecture. I have no idea what property Ubisoft could take. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Switch exclusive. Maybe it's not even a Nintendo property. Maybe it's just they're making a game exclusive for Switch.
But what's cool is that they like took this bargain with Rabbids and Mario. Yeah. And if it worked out, now they have the chance to do something that's really unheard of. Like they have the freedom to do something new. Yeah,
which is exciting.
Here's my question with Ubisoft. So they make Uncharted, right?
No.
Who makes Uncharted? Oh, that's
Sony.
But that's Naughty Dog, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What made you think it was Ubisoft?
I don't know. I always thought I maybe because like the way that like Assassin's Creed plays. Like,
okay, yeah,
kind of plays,
sure.
like,
I can see that. Yeah, and Ubisoft does a lot of like that kind of like photorealistic kind of thing,
exactly.
which I guess as well. But yeah,
Ubisoft
also does what?
I won't like jump developers that are not in order yet. So
okay,
I'll stick to the script.
But yeah, and so Ubisoft also did Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2. I don't know if you know those. So maybe
is that franchise dead? Or is that
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. If they're doing Division 2, I would be surprised if they had Watch Dogs 3.
Does that ever did that ever do well though?
Like it was like it did well enough, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was like the crazy success they were hoping for. I think Watch Dogs 2 definitely did better, I think.
Okay.
Than the first game.
Because I remember hearing about Watch Dogs 1 and everyone was like, this is
I remember Watch Dogs 1 and it was like it's fine. But I think Watch Dogs 2 was much more well received.
Okay.
Cool. So they could be doing a third one, but I think that I don't think that'll be here, but maybe. The thing about Ubisoft is a lot of times like they have that like announcement. Like Watch Dogs 1 was that announcement. The Division 1 was that announcement. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was that announcement.
Ooh,
like,
what?
Yeah. Ooh, what are you doing here? So I like we expect Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, maybe something Nintendo,
and just
maybe Watch Dogs.
Total surprise.
But I expect something I've never heard of. I expect something new that is going to look really cool.
Not even like a sequel, just a totally new thing.
Yeah, I feel like Ubisoft does that a lot, and they're good at that.
Ubisoft, if you're listening, don't disappoint.
Yeah. You have 1 week.
You have 1 week.
But yeah, so yeah, those are most of the big Walmart leaks things. Mm-hmm. Lego DC Villains was announced a couple days ago.
I'm sure that'll be fun.
Yeah, whatever. Just Cause 4. That's probably at Microsoft.
Just Cause 4.
If I had something, if I had to guess.
So cool.
Borderlands 3. Just because of the strays, I can see Borderlands 3 at Microsoft.
Just Cause 3 was like the one game that you could just spend hours just doing just total shit. Like
the one game.
Well, like okay.
Have you ever played Animal Crossing?
Oh my god.
For listeners, Evan has never played Animal Crossing. I tried describing it to him, and he's not crazy on it, so I just had to show him.
I don't think I ever want to play
No,
Animal
you're
Crossing.
Gonna see it, and we'll get to Nintendo. But yeah, let's.
I swear, if they like release like, we have a new Animal Crossing game, now you can have your own medical bills, or just like some like other like adult life like payment you have to make. I'm just gonna
listen. I think I told you like all the super realistic stuff just because it's so hilarious that it's in there. Like I have to show it. Like that's not all the game is.
Yeah.
I really want to show it to you, and we'll get to Nintendo later. But yeah.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah. How
to pay for your mortgages and be neighborly.
Hey, it's good. It's good practice. But yeah. So moving on from Ubisoft. Okay. So I love PlayStation. I love Nintendo. I'm like those are the two conferences that I'm always so excited for because they always have something. Maybe not always Nintendo, but just as someone who grew up with Nintendo, I'm always so excited for that stuff.
I can confirm that you really do like PlayStation. Yes.
And Nintendo.
And Nintendo. Yes. Nintendo especially. Yes.
But I have a feeling that Square Enix's conference is gonna be the craziest. Because Square Enix does not have E3 press conferences.
Poor K.
They just like they had one back in like 2013, I think. Mm-hmm. And then that was it.
Oh, they even had a conference for 5 years.
Yeah, and even then it wasn't yearly. They just had one. They have conferences when they're ready to show something.
And they're ready to show something.
And it's like they have Kingdom Hearts 3. Like they're gonna have a trailer that shows the release date. Maybe we'll see a new world. Wow. Maybe we'll see that. Like they'll probably show off Dragon Quest 11 because that's coming to the West in September.
Dragon Quest 11?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know they had that many.
And they have like a bunch of spin-offs too. I highly doubt we'll see Final Fantasy 16. But maybe there's always a chance. I highly doubt we'll see Final Fantasy 7 remake, but maybe there's a chance.
Do you think for Kingdom Hearts 3, now that Disney owns Star Wars,
that's the popular, like people are like, are they going to do something Marvel or are they going to do something Star Wars?
Oh, they could do both.
Yeah. I mean they already confirmed a Big Hero 6 world. So they're like that's like still like kind of lower Marvel, but there's still the chance that they could go up from there too.
Yeah.
If they did Star Wars, I have a feeling it would be like Rebels or Clone Wars, like one of the like.
It wouldn't be one of the like main ones.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Or if it was a main movie, I would think it would be like
something modern.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Like the new trilogy.
Yep.
But yeah, so Kingdom Hearts 3, Dragon Quest, maybe Final Fantasy, Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is.
I saw the trailer. Looked cool. Yeah.
They last year. Crystal Dynamics, who did like basically all of the previous Tomb Raider games, announced and showed nothing for basically just saying, "Hey, this exists," an Avengers game. That was about a year and a half ago. Oh. I am almost positive that is going to be featured heavily.
What?
Heavily. Here.
What would that? I don't even know what they would do for that. Would that be like a first person?
I have a feeling it's third person.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you like have to switch characters or maybe like it's co-op and you. I don't know. That's what makes it so exciting and also what makes me so nervous as a big Marvel fan. I'm like I really hope it's good. I have a feeling it will be good. But
I wonder if it would be like an Injustice kind of thing, but not like a fighting game. But I mean, like you like go through each kind of character's story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like who knows, you know?
It's just totally unknown.
Yeah, we have no idea. Like,
nothing's been leaked or anything like that.
No.
Wow.
Like let me look up Crystal Dynamics Avengers. I think this was announced back, like last January.
Would it be like right up to Infinity War kind of Avengers or?
No. I highly doubt it'll have anything to do with the movies.
Oh.
Like how the Spider-Man PS4 game
has nothing.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Its own thing. But yeah. I think it was January 26th, 2017 was that announcement trailer. It's been a year and a half and we have heard nothing.
Well,
like so like sometimes like they hired this person and stuff. But wow.
Wow.
Oh, and look at this. I googled it January 24th, 2018. Crystal Dynamics hires ex Naughty Dog and Visceral talent for Avengers. That's good. Are you kidding me?
Good.
Yeah. So I'm so excited for that. And you have to wonder, like, all these things could have easily been in another conference, like PlayStation easily. What pushed them over the edge to be like, no, we need to do our own thing show this off.
This is gonna be. That's how big this is.
Yeah, like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Avengers. Are you kidding me? Like, maybe they will have Final Fantasy. Like, who knows?
Maybe they'll just throw wow.
I somehow doubt that they're actually going to do Final Fantasy 7 remake, but maybe 16. Who knows?
Wow.
I'm like, the mystery surrounding this has me like fascinated.
All right, cool. Then I'm much more excited for this than I was before this podcast. Yeah. So it was very exciting.
So, whew. Also, I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, so like, even if it was just that, I'm good.
That's correct.
Yeah.
For reference for the listeners, I had never heard of Kingdom Hearts before Jacob and I were friends, and now I feel like I know a lot about it.
Yeah.
In terms of stories.
Yeah. You still don't know. You know nothing.
I know about the Heartless. Okay. So.
But yeah. So that's Square Enix. I'm excited. Nothing leaked really. Like, they announced Shadow of the Tomb Raider ahead of time, but that wasn't even in May. That was like in April or something.
And that was them controlling it. So
yeah.
It wasn't anything too bad.
But yeah, so Square Enix, excited. Then Monday night. Sony. Which in previous years has been insane. Like seriously, like they had, like, 2015 was the beginning of their insane conferences, because they showed The Last Guardian, which I should have it up here with me. I don't know if I do.
That's the one with the big, like, big fox flying
bird dog.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
like, I don't know how to describe that.
Which was, like, announced years before it actually came out, and then, like, 2015 was when they, like, showed it again for the first time on
people
PS4.
Were like,
whoa! It's real. It's not canceled. And that's Team Ico. That's the same guys who did Shadow of the Colossus. Which, you might know. So 2015 they showed that. They showed Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was huge, because Final Fantasy VII, considered one of the greatest games of all time. And they've been like throughout the years they've been teasing that they're gonna remake, but then that ends up being nothing, or it's just a tech demo to show off the new hardware and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then they actually announced, like, hey, this is a game. And since then it's gone through, like, some troubles, development wise. But
has that been released yet or no?
No,
okay.
No, not at all. It's probably no. Who knows? That's why it's a huge question mark at Square Enix. Yeah, and then they also had Shenmue 3, which was, like, a huge Kickstarter thing that was, like, announced on their stage in 2015, and it made, like, $3 million.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. And
wow.
That's also been having some troubles, but not as big. Just, you know.
You say Shamu or
Shenmue? Shamu. It's hard to explain. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah.
And I've never played them, so I won't be able to explain it super well. So we can look into that later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they had that, and then the next year was probably E3 2016. PlayStation was probably the greatest conference of all time, because that was when they had the orchestra opening for God of War.
Oh wow!
For the first time, like, it was like there were reports that they were going to talk about God of War 4. It was going to be Norse mythology instead, but no one could have predicted that it was going to be, like, Norse mythology and, like, third person behind the shoulder with this kid following you and, like, some RPG mechanics and stuff like that. Like, no one would have predicted that they were going to have a 10-minute demo of, like, the first 10 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
Just to announce it. And so they opened with that. That's where they announced Resident Evil 7, which came out, like, 6 months later. To great reviews.
Yeah.
That's where I think they showed a Horizon Zero Dawn trailer.
A new one?
Yeah. Well, not a new one. Like, it was before that game came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it was just another trailer for that.
Mm-hmm.
They showed Days Gone, which has, like, people excited but not huge.
Is that a zombie game?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They had... What else did they have? There's some big stuff. That's where they announced Spider-Man for the first time.
Turn off the dark.
Oh, what am I talking about? Hideo Kojima rising from the ashes. That's when that happened. That was
he
like
rose like a phoenix out of Konami.
like right after he had that like fallout at Konami, and he like people were like, it seems like he's gonna partner with Sony, and like do a game for them.
And he came out of the floor.
No, like
rising.
literally at the conference, he's like the curtains open, and he's all the way at the back. And on these LED panels on the floor, they have like a bridge building in front of him as he walks down to the front of the stage.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Kojima started walking too fast and went off of the bridge. But it was still really cool, and the crowd went insane. And then he was like, oh yeah, by the way, I have something to show for you. In the first trailer for Death Stranding, like he's been gone for like 3 seconds. How does he have something to show already?
Wow.
Like that was insane.
He's a showman, dude. Like
yeah.
He knows his audience.
And like Norman Reedus was still in it and stuff like that. It was just that was an unbelievable moment. Like yeah, like that was probably one of the greatest press conferences like ever. And then last year was still good, but like not the same level. Like I'd still say it was probably one of the best conferences. They showed Monster Hunter World. They had Horizon DLC. They showed the Shadow of the Colossus remake there. They showed a little bit more Days Gone. They showed another God of War trailer. They showed what else?
Does Sony own God of War?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a first party thing. It was still really good. Just like not as mind blowing. Not that like holy crap that they had with God of War and Death Stranding and Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Like that Resident Evil, like that, like nobody knew that it was Resident Evil 7. Like this is a tangent, but like they had Capcom had a VR demo called Kitchen. That was like a first person like horror thing, and that's basically what that initial Resident Evil 7 demo was. And they had that for like a year that people would just play at like shows and stuff.
Oh.
And then they like the screen goes like the stage goes dark and the screen just says before Kitchen, and you hear a phone ring and they go through the whole trailer. It's like this first person horror game. It's like, what is this? And everybody's like, this looks cool. Like, what is this? And then like it just like cut. Like the screen like cuts to black or something, or it's like this like this house in the distance with like the lights off and it's nighttime, and they just have like they have the Roman numeral 7 pop up, and it's like 7, and then Resident Evil pops in where like VIL is the 7 Roman numeral, and it's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and it was like what? And like everybody goes insane, and that was also a really cool moment.
So this type of stuff could happen at E3 essentially.
Potentially. The thing is, it seems like Sony might be scaling back just a tad. Because the thing is, if you're doing those kinds of announcements for 3 years, you're going to run out of those announcements at one point.
It's probably hard to keep that up.
Yeah, because those, like, you have to develop those.
Yeah.
And then once those are finished, then you have those announcements again. And so I'm sure they're going to have, like, they have like 1 or 2 things up their sleeve, like one big surprise maybe, and like or maybe like another like they're like Blue Point, who did the Shadow of the Colossus remake. Like we know that they're doing another like big remake that's even bigger in scale, and so I assume we're gonna see that maybe.
Okay.
But Sony is scaling back a little bit, where they're focusing on 4 games, like going in depth with them. And even if they don't have any big bombshells, this is still huge because we're going to be seeing Death Stranding, assuming gameplay for the first time. Although Hideo Kojima is like, oh, you've seen gameplay already. It's like, okay, yeah, but real gameplay, you know? Like I want to see the game played. So they'll have Death Stranding. They'll have Last of Us Part 2.
Wow.
I'm very excited for that. They'll have Ghost of Tsushima, which was announced at Paris Games Week last October, which is made by Sucker Punch, who did Sly Cooper and Infamous. By the way, I would really like a Sly Cooper collection for PS4 and or a Sly Cooper 5.
Yes, so please send that to our Patreon page.
Yeah. Patreon.com/GamesBound. So, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, Last of Us Part 2, and Spider-Man.
So
those are 4 powerhouses.
So, listeners, just for reference, I have not played Last of Us yet.
Yes.
Or like fully.
Yeah. We're going through it now.
We're essentially playing through it now. And
I have played it.
Jacob's played it.
And it's one of my favorite games of all time now.
And we just got to where are we? We're at like Bill's house.
Yeah, we're leaving Bill's house to get the car.
And I love it so far. It's because we played a little before and I loved it then, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, because we were playing it before, like this was like 2016, and we were playing it together. And then you left on your like year-long excursion, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not waiting for you, and so I beat it.
And so
it's
you
like,
just played without me.
I'll play it with you again, but I can't wait for this.
And it took a year of friendship therapy to get over that, but here we are.
Yeah. So it's still going through it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But yeah, so those are 4 powerhouses. And past that, they've said, this is from Polygon, this quote. They say, Sony's E3 2018 showcase will also highlight games from PlayStation's third-party publishing partners and independent studios, Layden said. He confirmed there will be no hardware announcements during the show, so don't expect the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation Vita 2 to be revealed at E3 this year.
I would be shocked if they...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And from comments we hear, like, more recently, like, I would have guessed 2020 at the earliest, but maybe 2021 at this point. Who knows?
And they should take the... Like, if they're going to jump to another console...
Yeah.
Dude, like, take
like,
your time
I feel like there's still, like, a couple years left.
Yeah.
Like we haven't reached the PS3's cycle. Yeah, and to be fair, the PlayStation 3 to the 4 was a much smaller... maybe not much smaller, just a smaller jump than the PlayStation 2 to the 3.
Yeah.
So maybe like it'll be a somewhat shorter life cycle for that reason. Then the PS5 is going to be a bigger jump, but still, I'm not shocked. Like we knew that we weren't going to be hearing about these things.
Yeah.
But yeah. So just because they're focusing on those 4 games doesn't mean that
we won't get surprised.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be shocked if they said this and then they're like also one more thing, and then it's something like really cool. Like, whether it's a new game or if it's, like, just that Blue Point remake of a game. Which my guess is Demon's Souls, for the record. What am I saying?
What are you saying? I don't know.
Demon's Souls. Made by From Software.
Yeah.
The same company that does Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Yeah.
At the Game Awards this past year, they had, like, a 5-second teaser for something that we assume is called Shadows Die Twice. Or at least that's the tagline of whatever game they're working on.
Okay.
That's gonna be at this conference. Are you kidding me? Of course it'll be there.
So is that just like a new kind of Dark Souls game, or
no? It's something like we don't know. Like Dark Souls is over. Like the director of that game was like Dark Souls 3 is it.
Yeah.
So
sad.
So
okay.
Well, like I wouldn't be like it could be Bloodborne 2. It could be something completely new. It's probably something completely new. Who knows? And that's so exciting because From Software does good stuff. And that's... What am I saying? That's probably going to be there. That's going to be the big announcement.
That's going to be the big surprise.
Yeah.
Write it down. Quote it from Jacob.
Lock it in. Draft your tweets. But, yeah. So, yeah.
So, let's just talk about these 4 games for a second. So, Ghost of
Tsushima.
Is there only that one trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the last we heard of it.
There's probably going to be a new trailer for that.
Yeah. We're probably going to see gameplay.
That's exciting.
We have no idea if it'll be like a late 2018 or 2019 game. I'm not familiar with Sucker Punch's like release history, like when they announce versus when it comes out and stuff like that. I don't know if they have like a really rigid schedule for that kind of thing. But yeah, that's very exciting. Like I assume we're gonna get a trailer and some deep gameplay for all 4 of these.
That's very exciting.
Yeah,
But Spider-Man, like, we've already seen gameplay for,
yeah,
right?
and we know that that's coming, I think it's September 4th.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah, either September 4th or September 7th. Because the other one of those dates is Dragon Quest 11.
So what else would they show us with Spider-Man that we don't already know?
Probably, like, maybe not like, my hope is that it's just, like, going around New York. Cool. Not like, oh, it's this mission. Like you're on this mission and you're going to stop Negative Man, or like you're fighting the Rhino in the streets. Like I just want to go out on a,
just kind of like an open world run and just see it.
Like I want to see how you interact with that world because that is so important in a Spider-Man game.
Here's my other question. Are we even thinking about Spider-Man DLCs yet? Is that even like? Would they even come out?
If they were to talk about that, I would assume it would be after.
Okay.
Or not even at E3. Like E3 isn't really the time. Like they talk about DLC at E3, but not for games that haven't come out yet. I don't think.
This is my for anyone working on Spider-Man that's tuning into us and is subscribed. Please do a Miles Morales DLC.
Oh, Miles Morales is like in one of the trailers.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
what?
at E3 last year they had, so it kind of fell apart just because like the stream, like it didn't work for the stream. But if you watch the trailer itself, outside of the context of E3, like it ends like it's like a mission of, have you seen that?
I guess not.
We should watch it.
I have no idea.
But yeah, it's like Spider-Man like on a mission. He's fighting these guys, and you're like chasing a helicopter, and then you land, like you get the helicopter safely in like a web of, or like a web net like above the ground before it like crashes into the streets.
Yeah.
And then you see like during the E3 conference, like Spider-Man was the last thing they showed. That demo was it.
Yeah.
And then like they had like this montage of everything they showed, and then they had a stinger that was back to Marvel, like a post-credit scene, but it was just like way too late.
Yeah.
And so if you just watch the demo itself, then it makes more sense because it's like cuts the title, and then it goes back, and it's ground level, and it's like this kid with his phone like taking pictures of it, and then his friend leaves, and he's like, Miles, come on, and the kid turns and he walks away. So he's like in the game. We know
what?
that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I wouldn't be shocked. So like we know that they're gonna have like different skins for Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Like they have like an Avengers Infinity War skin that they're gonna have, and they have like different abilities and stuff like that. Are they gonna have
Iron Spider? Because that
would that's it.
Oh my god, that would be so dope. Oh,
yeah, that's the Infinity War skin. Have you seen Infinity War?
What are you talking about? Of course I've seen Infinity War.
Yeah, I know, but why did it? But we know that it's Iron Spider. That's the Iron Spider suit.
But like his suit, like before he got Iron Spider, was that any different than?
Well, that was just the Homecoming suit.
Oh, well, I haven't seen Homecoming, so that's.
You haven't seen Homecoming?
Dude, I told you I haven't seen.
Okay,
I haven't seen.
Let's table this for later.
I haven't seen
let's
Black Panther, Ragnarok. These are.
Well, Ragnarok comes to Netflix in like 3 days.
Okay, well then we'll watch it. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's good. That's exciting. I think Spider-Man is the least exciting of those four, just because we've seen it so much already. Like I'm incredibly excited for Spider-Man, but just it's the one of those four that we've seen the most of already. So
cool.
But yeah, I'm always excited to see what Sony does, even if they downplay their conference.
Do you think that we'll moving to the next game? Do you think that we'll see gameplay for Last of Us 2?
Yes, wow. They already said that they're gonna do it.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, I think we're seeing gameplay of all four of these. A trailer and gameplay. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Next.
So the last conference. Ooh. Oh boy.
What happened at the last conference?
No, the last conference is Nintendo.
Oh.
We hear this rumor that Retro Studios is working on a game called Star Fox Grand Prix, where it is like a racing game similar to Diddy Kong Racing for the Nintendo 64, where you have like a hub world and you have like races and like bosses and stuff like that.
Yep.
Let me see. I have the Eurogamer article pulled up here. So the thing is, like, this was like leaked by a couple of people. Like a couple of people were like, "Yeah, this is happening." It was like one person. Someone was like, "Yeah, this is what I heard." It's like, "Yeah, this is what I heard." And then it was like, "All right, well, these are just like people. It's just like individual people. Who knows if they can be trusted?" And then I think Eurogamer themselves were like, "Yeah, we heard this too." It's like, "Oh, what? This is real?" So this could very possibly be real, and at their press conference. It says, this Eurogamer line says, the leaks, here, I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah.
A round of internet leaks has suggested Nintendo's Retro Studios, developer of the Metroid Prime trilogy, is working on a Star Fox Racing spin-off. The leaks appeared online over the weekend on Reddit and 4chan, and were then reported this morning on multiple gaming sites and blogs. So what do we believe? Well, as improbable as Retro making a Star Fox Racing spin-off may sound, Eurogamer sources have heard similar. And Eurogamer is trustworthy. Details posted to Reddit by user Das Vergeben.
German.
Yeah, nice. Who has a patchy record, touted Retro Star Fox project as a racing game, quote, like Diddy Kong Racing mixed with F-Zero. Quote, it will have an adventure mode of some kind, think Diddy Kong Racing, and there will be some boss fights in a hub world like it too. It's called Star Fox Grand Prix.
Wow.
And yet they say, well, I haven't heard the name. I don't know if it's accurate or final. Other details line up with what I heard. So yeah. Whoa.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially because the last like people have been screaming for like a return to form Star Fox for a while, and then they got Star Fox Zero on the Wii U, and people were like, not like that. Because it wasn't great. And Star Fox is just one of those Nintendo properties like F-Zero, like Earthbound, which we'll get to. That's a personal thing for me. Where it's just like not as focused on by Nintendo. Like Mario, Zelda are up top. Yeah. Pokemon, Metroid has been neglected a little bit, but with Metroid Prime 4 being announced last year, and they had a 3DS remake of Metroid 2.
That like puts it back up there.
Yeah, it's been on the rise. Mm-hmm. I'd say F-Zero and Star Fox are like pretty well below that in terms of like how much they're paid attention to, and then Earthbound is like the very bottom. Unfortunately, as a tear rolls down my face.
I've never even heard that. So
yes, you have. We've definitely talked about it.
Earthbound?
We'll get there. So Star Fox Grand Prix could very well be a real thing. And at first I was like, a Star Fox racing game, really? But then they said, like Diddy Kong Racing. I was like, okay, I'm in.
You were like, all right.
Diddy Kong Racing is so good and very undervalued.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
undervalued, I have never even played it. So.
Well, I have it here with me. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so that could very well be a real thing that's at this conference.
Nice.
Other things that will be at this conference, I think Metroid Prime 4 is a safe bet. We know that Retro's not developing it. It's Bandai Namco. I think it's confirmed.
Oh, very cool. Nice. They make the Naruto games.
They make a lot of games. They helped out with Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS. Speaking of Smash Brothers for Switch.
New Smash Brothers,
that's confirmed going to be there. They're having a tournament the same way that they did a tournament for like Wii U when that was announced at E3.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, sweet.
So that'll be there. So we have Smash, we have Star Fox potentially, and we have Metroid. Maybe Mario DLC, Mario Odyssey DLC. I doubt it, but who knows?
Yeah. Because I doubt they would come out with a new Mario game. Like it's
definitely not.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if we see any Mario, it will be Super Mario Maker for the Switch. Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
Yeah. So it came out on Wii U, and then they did it for 3DS, and I can only imagine that they'll do a Switch version of it.
It'd either be that or like Mario Tennis for the Nintendo Switch.
That's already coming out.
Oh, it's already out?
Yeah, there's a demo for it right now. It comes out in like 2 weeks.
See, that's how out of the loop I was. I made it as a joke, and it's a real...
Yeah, it's real.
Okay, great, cool.
It's called Mario Tennis Aces.
See, that sounds real... Okay, that sounds awesome. All right.
Yeah, I still have the demo downloaded.
I want to play that.
But yeah, but I hope we don't see that at the conference because we already know it and we've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
So, Yoshi is a game that we saw last E3. No official title, just Yoshi. So I assume we'll get an official title and it'll probably be like a
little trailer or something.
Maybe August would be a good time for that. Maybe September. Mm-hmm. I don't think because there's a lot of stuff in September. I think Yoshi would drown in September. So I feel like,
especially because there's so many other stuff coming out in September. Yeah.
So I feel like that's a summer game.
Here's kind of just a general question. Would it be possible that? So let's say like a game that doesn't have like an announcement date yet, right?
Yeah.
Would it be possible that they like announce it and they announce something and we're like, okay, like we knew this was gonna be here, and then they show an announcement date and it's like either like a few weeks from now or like in like the next 2 or 3 months when we thought it would have been like next year. Like, is that a thing that happens?
Sometimes, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like Smash Brothers for Switch was announced in a Nintendo Direct back in March, I think.
Yeah.
And they ended it with, oh yeah, you haven't seen the trailer. I'll show it to you.
No.
But basically, like, it ended with 2018, which everybody's like, what?
Oh, what game is this for again? Sorry.
Smash Brothers.
Got it. Yeah.
And like those games take a while, and the fact that is like people thought like a lot of people thought that they were gonna do like Smash Brothers Deluxe in the same way that they did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for Switch.
Yeah.
But I am convinced that this is a new Smash Brothers game. It might look very similar, just art style wise, but like they had, it was just like this very like complex like CG trailer. Mm-hmm. That like you see that it's Link in his Breath of the Wild outfit and stuff like that. It's like you don't do that if it's just like a port of the Wii U game.
You don't spend that amount of time unless it's something like big, yeah.
Yeah. And like, I mean, anyways, like sure they had DLC and stuff that they were working past it, but the Wii U Smash came out in 2014. It's been 4 years. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
If Sakurai, or even if Sakurai's not working on it, if they just like went straight. Sakurai's the guy who makes the Smash Brothers games.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm almost positive that it's a new Smash Brothers game. I really hope they have a story mode similar to Brawl. I think that was like a mixed reviewed kind of thing among people, but I really liked it. I think it's super cool. I hope they have something like that. Maybe not exactly like it, but it was just super cool to see that production value in that game. Yeah, we'll see a lot of that definitely. Also, Pikmin 4, like years ago, it was just like Miyamoto was like, "Oh yeah, Pikmin 4 is almost done."
Where is it?
Yeah, and the thing is, no one had said that Pikmin 4 existed until he said, "Oh yeah, it's almost done." So like,
how long ago was that?
It was like at least 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So who knows?
Personally, that like series doesn't like mean a lot to me. So
yeah, I played the first one and I haven't beaten the second one, but I really like them.
Oh, okay.
The music's great and it's just like they can be stressful, but they're really fun. I haven't played 3 because that was on the Wii U and I never had a Wii U. But yeah, that's just a weird situation. I feel like we'll see something about Pikmin 4. Zelda.
No way, dude. They can't. Like...
Yeah, no. But see, the thing is, there have been rumors that they're going to do a Link's Awakening remake for 3DS. I have a feeling we're not going to see any 3DS in this presentation, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing in like the style of A Link Between Worlds, which was the most recent 3DS Zelda game, besides Triforce Heroes, but no one likes that. I don't count it. But like if they like, I wouldn't be as shocked because I think the next game that they're doing is going to be similar to Breath of the Wild.
And it should.
And like that kind of open air style. And the thing is, like Ocarina of Time was considered one of the greatest games of all time when it came out. And Breath of the Wild did the same. And then immediately after Ocarina of Time, they put out Majora's Mask a year later.
Which was also got crazy good reviews.
Yeah. It was definitely weirder and like it was more of a cult hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's my personal favorite Zelda game. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they just like used the same assets and same art style and did like it wouldn't come out in the next year, but if they just like teased something else.
Relatively,
yeah. I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I highly doubt this would happen, but I wouldn't be shocked. Is what I'm trying to say.
I feel like you might be like a little shocked. You might be like, oh.
Well, I think it depends on if it like how different it looks, you know.
And that's understandable.
Like if it's clearly a Breath of the Wild sequel or spiritual successor, then it's like okay, yeah, sure. But if there's like slight changes and it's like a whole different world or something like that, like who knows?
Whoa.
But yeah, Metroid Prime 4, of course. I'm so excited. I'm trying to finish my Metroid backlog, just because I haven't played all those games.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've played over half of them at this point. But Metroid is super good. You should definitely get on that train. I'll try and help you out there.
Yeah, because I have... I mean, honestly, I have no experience with that either, yeah.
Hopefully, I'm hoping that they do a Metroid Prime trilogy. So Metroid Primes 1 and 2 came out on the GameCube, and then 3 was on the Wii. And then they did a trilogy collection, and that was on the Wii. And I got that. And so I hope that they port that over to the Switch and do like Metroid Prime Trilogy HD before 4 comes out.
Yeah.
I assume we're going to see gameplay for 4, or at least a big trailer. Yeah, I'm thinking that that's late 2018, maybe early 2019. Like, I can see that either as a November game or as a March game.
Cool.
But, yeah, that's my hope, at least. I can also see it being, like, a late 2019 game. Who knows? But, yeah, so that's exciting. And then into the speculative stuff. I feel like we have to see Animal Crossing here. They like there's an Animal Crossing. Okay, yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry. Like I really want there to be an Animal Crossing. I love Animal Crossing. I really hope. Like they had one on the GameCube. They had one for 64, but it was in Japan only. But they had one for GameCube and then for Wii and for DS and for 3DS. So it's like one per console and handheld basically.
So they need one for Switch.
It's due. So I feel like they show it here, especially since Pocket Camp, the phone game, came out last year.
When was the last time they came out with like a big Animal Crossing game though?
That was for the 3DS. This might be wrong, but I want to say 2014.
Well, then then I feel like it's definitely
I mean it's just a matter of when, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's got to be there, and then Earthbound, like Mother 3, who knows? My dream is also always that. So Earthbound is NES.
Wait.
Yes.
This is okay. Totally correct me if I'm wrong, because I am probably wrong.
Okay.
Is this that game that was like only like announced in like Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then I kind of know.
So Earthbound is NES from Smash Brothers.
That I know.
And so the first Earthbound game, or Earthbound Zero, or the series is Mother in Japan.
Yeah.
So Mother 1 was an NES game. Mother 2, or Earthbound, was a Super NES game. And then Mother 3 was a Game Boy Advance game that only came out in Japan.
That's right.
And Mother 1 only came out as Earthbound Beginnings in the US 2014 on the Wii U, as the virtual console old games thing, which is really cool.
Weren't you trying to get that at one point?
What do you mean?
I think I know that I know kind of what this is because you were bringing up and you were trying to find a way to play this game and I just don't know how.
Well, no, Mother 3 is the thing.
Oh.
And I knew how. I played Mother 3 after I played Last of Us last summer.
Just kidding.
And when Last of Us became one of my favorite games of all time, Mother 3 became my favorite game of all time, I think.
Of all time?
Yeah. I think so.
Wow. That's a high claim.
I definitely need to think it over, and usually I just have these this set is my favorite in no order, but Mother 3 is definitely in there, Last of Us is definitely in there, Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely in there, you know. So it's up there. But it never came out in the US. And it is time.
It's time for it to come here.
Yeah. Because there's a fan translation of it that someone did. And that's what I played. And it's a very good translation. And I was trying to wait to play it until Nintendo officially released it, but it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And honestly, as more and more time goes by, the less I see it happening. Or at least, I think as more and more time goes by, I think we could see an Earthbound remake.
Okay.
My thinking, so have you ever seen Ni no Kuni?
No.
So it's this PlayStation RPG. It's kind of not chibi art style, but it's very anime 3D kind of thing. I think they could use that art style, I'll show it to you later, as a 3D Earthbound remake, or if they remade Mother 3 or something like that. I think it's possible that we could get an Earthbound remake in that way. I really hope so. I just
something.
I don't even need I really want Mother 3 to come out here, but I just need Earthbound recognition, you know? Because it's such an undervalued franchise, and it's so sad that more people haven't played it. And it's just
Mother 3 it's time to come home.
I hope we see something Earthbound at this conference, whether it's Earthbound or Earthbound Beginnings or Mother 3. I doubt it, but
one can dream.
It's been my dream for the past 5 years, but whatever. I mean, even without that, I'm still very excited for this conference. You know, Metroid, Smash,
That'd be good.
Maybe Animal Crossing, Retro Studio. Even if it wasn't Star Fox, I was excited for Retro Studios to do literally anything they wanted. They can do anything and all.
Just give me something.
Yeah, they're very good at what they do. And actually, there's an interesting article that just came out on Polygon, which you all should check out. It's basically an article about Retro Studios' rocky beginnings.
Oh.
It's how they basically most of the staff got laid off just before they started working on Metroid Prime 1, and how troubled that development cycle was, and how it took a while for them to get steady. You know, wow. It's fascinating. But yeah, that's a good article. It's on Polygon. But yeah, so that's Nintendo. Nintendo is always kind of a mysterious thing, because Nintendo can do whatever they want whenever they want, you know. So yeah, definitely excited. I'd say I'm very excited for those last three: Square, PlayStation, Nintendo.
Square, Sony, Nintendo.
But I am always excited for all of E3, always.
You've definitely got me on the hype train now. I'm
yeah,
definitely excited for
this. So what do you think what conference are you looking forward to?
What
are your expectations?
Let's just like look back for a second.
Maybe.
So I can remember what we talked about. Jesus.
Yeah. So we got just to recap.
Yeah.
Next Saturday, June 9th, we got EA. Sunday, we have Bethesda and Microsoft. Then Monday, we have Square Enix, Ubisoft, and PlayStation. And then Tuesday, we have Nintendo. So.
Well, okay. So
I feel like that's basically the order of like lowest to highest.
It's just like ends.
That's in order.
They made this conference specifically for you, Jake.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. What are you looking forward to?
It's my first E3 conference. You know, this is gonna be. You know, you never forget your first time.
You never forget your first.
So I'm really quite excited. Like, game wise, personally, of course I'm really excited for like the Last of Us Part 2. Basically, like those four Sony games.
Yeah.
I think I love Sony presentations.
Yeah.
And so
they know how to do it.
They know what they're doing. Yeah. So I'm just really excited to watch that conference and learn. I just want to know more about Death Stranding. Yeah. Because I really don't know what to make of those.
Yeah, that's weird.
I want to see gameplay and I want some sort of just plot explanation. Just give us some hint of what that is.
We'll see plot. I don't think we'll see explanation.
So leave us with just more cryptic messages, please. I'm excited for anything from Square Enix, from what you told me. I mean, that's gonna be awesome. Especially that Avengers game. That's cool. Yeah. I think I'm really excited about that because I had no idea until right now.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. And of course, anything Ubisoft, because I grew up playing the Assassin's Creed games, so those have a special place in my heart. And what's the other games that they're gonna probably show?
At Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Division, maybe something Nintendo, Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell.
Oh, Splinter Cell! Thank you. Yeah. That was the other one. And for this conference, there are a lot of games I personally really enjoy, so I'm gonna be really excited to see what they are, and I'm just excited for that big surprise moment that's gonna happen that you've been telling me. But Jacob, what are you the most excited for?
Yeah, dude, I think Nintendo, just because I think Nintendo and Square. I think Square because we basically know what's gonna be there, but we don't know what it's gonna be like. We know Avengers there, but we don't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. Like we know that Kingdom Hearts is gonna be there. I'm excited to get a date for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Finally.
Yeah, for reference, Kingdom Hearts 1 came out in 2002.
Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in
2005. And they've had they've been Dream Drop Distance on the 3DS, Birth by Sleep on PSP. Yeah. Good games in the meanwhile, but Kingdom Hearts 3.
This is it. This is what we've been waiting for.
So those things, but also the mystery behind Nintendo. Who knows what Metroid Prime 4 is going to look like? Who knows if Animal Crossing is going to be there? Who knows what Smash is going to be like? Who knows what anything is going to be like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think and
always PlayStation, but I think they've definitely set my expectations by saying, hey, it's mainly these 4 things plus some extra third-party stuff. They've managed my expectations, so I'm excited, but I'm managing them.
This is a little plug for a previous editorial that Jacob did. But if you want to know the things that Nintendo should do for their conference, you can check out that video. That is that uploaded on this page?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll check.
It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's good. Yeah. So.
Yeah. You should and things have changed, but some of it still holds true. Yeah.
Keep the snaps. Yeah. What else are you excited for?
Just the vibes of E3.
The vibes.
Well,
good vibes.
Seeing the reactions of the crowd, or the things that we don't expect are always the most exciting. Resident Evil 7, Death Stranding when it was first shown, God of War. Just even we don't know what Ghost of Tsushima is gonna look like.
Yeah.
We just saw a CG trailer of that. It looks and sounds amazing, but we don't know what the gameplay is. So yeah, I think like we don't know what Metroid Prime 4 looks like. Like we assume since it's Prime, it's gonna be first person shooter.
Yeah.
But it's just like what we don't know is so exciting.
It's gonna be a good week.
There's I hope you feel it when it like as it goes on, but the zeitgeist.
Oh, good word.
Behind E3 is so like palpable. Like even like I think it was the beginning of May where it's like, oh that's cool. They're gonna show this thing at E3. Wait, that's in a month. And I just got so excited, and it's just been like building for like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
For those that can't see, Jacob is tearing up in the office right now.
I'm crying.
He's literally sobbing.
Can you leave, please? Yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna be good. But yeah, so that's our little preview, I guess.
That's a little preview of E3.
I hope I was able to enlighten you a little bit as to what we can expect, Evan, along with anyone who's listening who might not follow E3 as closely.
I think we'd like to take this time to thank our sponsors.
Who sponsors us?
Nobody. So if you would like to sponsor us,
go to patreon.com. That doesn't exist.
We don't have one. Yet.
But look out for after E3. Hopefully we'll do another podcast that's like a little wrap up.
I enjoy that.
This is a preview. It'll be a review next time.
A review?
Yeah. I'm hoping to do some more editorials. Maybe we'll do some games maybe soon. Maybe I don't know. Like I haven't talked to you about this, but if you want us to record Bloodborne, I don't know if you'd be interested in that.
That'd be fun. Everyone can see how bad I am at playing games.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll figure something out. I think we could do a game this summer.
A single game.
But yeah. So look out for that stuff.
The future is bright, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Also, the future is warm. It is warm in this room.
Yeah, I'm sweating. Can we go downstairs, please?
Yeah. Let's turn on the fans. All right. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.